Welcome to I Found a Weird Show. I'm Laura,
And I'm Lauren.
and we are continuing our recap of season 4 of the TV show From. Today, we have episode 5, What a Long Strange Trip It's Been, and that is the most accurate title to an episode yet.
In multiple ways, yeah.
Yeah, like this one was wild.
Well, I will say when we first pulled up the episode to watch it and we saw the name, I was like, this better be a mushroom trip. Because we did
Right?
not get enough in the prior episode. We saw him high, but he wasn't doing anything. He was just kind of wandering, being a little goofy, but it was
And
very
he had a voice
tame.
of reason. Like,
Right. Yeah, he
you're
was
not
giving
high enough.
advice. No, try again.
Jade, I'm gonna need this to set in. I'm gonna need you to start getting a little more high, buddy.
Yeah, take your job more seriously and get higher, please.
Yes. You only took 2 of those mushrooms. You grabbed a whole bunch of them. No. Yeah. So we find which, and I think we kind of commented on that last time where we were like, we need more of that. That can't have been it.
Yeah. Yeah, we were all just like, there's no way that's what all that lead up was to, was nothing. No.
Right.
They wouldn't do that
Yeah.
to us.
But this was a strange trip for a lot of folks. This episode. But we start out with Donna, Ellis, and the red shirts out at the settlement, and they're staring at that thing in the middle of the lake that got pulled up at the end of the last episode, which, we thought it was bodies, and they're talking about, I think it might be bodies.
It looks like bodies. Must
Did
be
look like bodies.
This place has a lot of bodies. I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah. And Donna's like, we're gonna pull it in. And the guy red shirt, he's like, are you crazy? Bless him though, he called it Nightmare Lake, and I loved that for us.
Mm-hmm.
As somebody who has continued to call this Nightmare Land and stuff, I was like, I like it. But he's like, you really want to drag that thing from Nightmare Lake ashore and poke around at it? And he gets a little snippy with Donna, and he says, you may run things back at Colony House, but we all get a say here. And Donna's like, we gotta stay here tonight. We cannot make it back to town, and I would feel better knowing what the hell just floated out of the bottom of the lake. And the others do agree with her, and they start pulling in the weird seaweed covered thing that could potentially be bodies. Is rough.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. No, we don't need more weird shit. This has been a season of that. A bit away from them are Ethan and Tabitha, and they're burying the dead bird. Okay, and we talked about this when the episode was playing. It only had a broken wing, and now it's dead.
The moment that they were burying it, it ran across my mind what? The bird died? That was it? Did they kill it? And then you joked they waterboarded it to death.
Yes, Nightmare Lake in the waterboarding took the poor bird out. Yeah, absolutely.
And they totally did waterboard that bird. We all saw it.
They did. They 100% did. And Ethan says to Jade, and he's so sweet with his folding up of the bird and a handkerchief and stuff like that. But Ethan says to Tabitha that he really wanted it to be the Lake of Tears. And then
we know, buddy.
Yeah, I know. It's not good, bud. And then he asked Tabitha are we gonna be okay? Which he loves to ask this question. And she tells him, I think, a very good answer.
Yeah,
I hope
finally.
So. Yeah. Instead of yes, we are. Of course we're going to be okay.
Everything's
no.
fine.
I hope so. Thank you. Which there's an interaction later. Donna gives the wrong answer. Tabitha gave the right one.
Shockingly.
Yes. Back in town, Jade is at the sheriff's office, and he's starting to feel those mushrooms kick in, and he's looking out the window at the motel sign, which instead of saying motel now says answers, and there's an arrow at the bottom that says this way.
Thank you for being as clear as possible.
Yeah, yeah. And he calls for Boyd, and he's like, "Think the mushrooms are finally kicking in." It's a little more direct than I expected.
I was kind of hoping Boyd would be like, "No, I see that too. This is just
Yeah,
real."
that would have been crazy.
Just
And it
mess with him and it didn't even need to take mushrooms.
right? Oh man, yeah, that would have been great. And at this point, Jade looks down, and there's spiders on the windows. These like little tarantula-looking bastards, and they're crawling on the window, and then they start crawling on him, and he freaks out and he's swatting them away, and Boyd comes up and grabs him, and he's like, "There's nothing there," and he gets him to calm down. And Jade says, this may not have been a good idea. And he sits down in the chair, and Boyd's like, maybe you should go see Christy. And Jade's like, no, I have to do this, but I need you to be my anchor, my guide. And Boyd's like, or he's like, I need you to tell me what's real and what isn't.
Yep, let's pick the guy who's also been hallucinating the whole time.
Yeah, I'm like, Boyd is not the right call for this. But we'll see how that goes. But he does say that we need to come up with a safe word, so that they have something that'll bring him back if things start to go off the rails. And Jade's like thinking about it, and he goes, Capricorn. Which I was a little shocked that was the choice, because I didn't take Jade for like an astrology guy.
I don't know if he is, or if that's just a word that he'd be like, that's not going to come up normally, because I don't talk about astrology. I don't know.
True. I think it's an interesting choice, though.
Yeah.
Also, if Jade was a astrology guy, he would be side-eyeing me as a Gemini. I know he would. He would judge me.
Oh my god, I didn't know you were a Gemini.
am.
I don't think we can be friends.
I am a Gemini. It's why I'm such a good chameleon. That's why I fit in well with so many people. But yes, at this point, Jade gets up, so they've settled on Capricorn as their safe word, and I'm so glad it wasn't a safe word of any of the people whose safe words I know. But he
What?
gets up. I've had people tell me their safe words, not in a situation where a safe word needed to get used, but it's like, this is my safe word, and I'm like, cool.
Okay.
Which it would be weird if any of them were Capricorn.
That would be weird.
But he gets up and says, let's go get weird. Jade wants to get weird too. And they head outside and they follow the arrow on the motel/answer sign. So we are about to go on some druggy trips with Jade, and I'm very here for it.
Like, finally.
I know. That's the only reason I was mad at the episode before, because I'm like, I was promised a high Jade, and I did not receive that.
Show did not deliver. But
Yeah.
they knew we needed more than the time that they had in that episode for him.
True. Yes, they had other things they had to deal with. I'm glad they didn't try to cram it in, because like, I needed a full episode of Jade on a high.
Yeah.
So out at the clinic, Christy and Marielle are setting Sophia's arm because she fell in the pool, remember? Because Sarah didn't do the water thing.
Yep, that's what happened.
Yep, that's exactly how that went. And it's a pretty nasty break. And her arm is pretty messed up.
I have never broken a bone, but that looked gnarly.
Yeah, it's like her arm is fully bruised already. And like, you could see like where the bone, like you could see it was not good. And that it needed to be set. Because you can't let a bone heal like that, otherwise you're fucked.
Which is exactly what Christy says.
Yep. She's like, I gotta reset this. You did not want to deal with this if we don't. And she does. And then Marielle's like, oh, we've got a brace in the ambulance. So she goes out to get it. And on her way out, she sees Randall and Julie coming in. And she does make a comment about Julie's hair. And she's like, what's up to Randall? And he's like, and they head inside, and Marielle heads to the ambulance, and she's looking around in the cabinet, and all of a sudden we hear like a metal clinking sound. And the handcuffs from like the cellar thing that she and the other two, when they were infested by the cicadas, is now attached to her wrist. And all of a sudden the radio starts playing, but it's just screams. Que sera, sera. We kind of talked about this. Like, out of the three of them, she was the one who felt affected the least. I mean,
I don't know if it was, like, felt affected the least or just was, like, avoiding it the most,
yeah.
hiding
We
it the most.
Yeah, that's true. We just didn't see it, and like she was good at hiding it because she even talked to Randall at one point when he tried to kill himself. And he's like, "How are you not?" And she's like, "I am." We just weren't. It wasn't manifesting in the same way. Because realistically, I think Randall was the one who was affected most because he just kept constantly getting the visions of the bugs. Where, like, realistically, other than the story walk-in stuff, Julie's not super affected.
I feel like she said something, like, she was just, like, super quiet afterwards and was like, "You don't know what I know," like, to other people.
Yeah, and she was getting high
Yeah. So
to, like,
I think all of them are affected. They are just showing it in very different ways or hiding it completely until it's now about to overwhelm, like Mary.
past with her drugs and stuff like that. She's probably good at masking some of
Yeah,
that stuff.
absolutely.
So, we'll see. But it's interesting to see her now, at least us to see her now being affected by it.
Yeah.
Out at the lake, they see they've gotten that thing pulled in, and it is not bodies, but giant creepy ass dolls.
Which I think is worse than
Yeah,
bodies.
and like, I mean, these are human size. I mean, slightly bigger than humans even, with like big old button eyes and like full like stitched mouths, and they're creepy as fuck. And everybody has the right reaction. This is fucked up. And Donna grabs a knife and she starts cutting one of them open. And they're like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I don't want any surprises. This is fair." Uh,
So fair.
but also, I would be scared to touch these fucking things.
Yeah.
Um, Luckily, there's nothing in them but stuffing. And the female red shirt asks, like, why would somebody put these in the lake? And this strikes Donna a bit, and she's like, there's only one reason that she can think of that people put life-size dolls full of stuffing outside. And Ethan at this point is very helpful, and he's like, scarecrows. And Donna's like, yeah, you put them in a field to scare the birds away. What kind of reason would there be for these to be at the lake? Is it to keep something else down there from coming out?
Exactly what we wanted to be thinking about.
Oof. Yeah, no. That's that's not okay. I don't want that.
No,
Well, but
I really don't.
we know there's something walking around out there. Kenny already alluded to it last season. Like, there's something else out there. So I don't know. It's rough. But out in the forest, Jade is tripping. And we get like the scream is all like, I don't even know what to call that, but it's like distorted and wavy and blurry, and he's dizzy and he goes and throws up. And Boyd's like, what are we doing? Like, what's the plan here? Are we just gonna walk around all day waiting for the trees to talk to us? And at this point, Jade's like, you're right. I haven't asked a question. I have to ask the right question and set the right intention. So he
I'm
does.
sure that's exactly what Boyd was trying to get at.
Yes, he's just like, why the fuck? What are you doing? He's like, oh no, man. Jade does what Jade loves to do, and that is to yell at the universe, which, like, I feel like we all need to do that more. I'm a big fan of
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of screaming into the void. And he's like, show me what I used to know. Show me what I can't remember. Show me what's in here. that'll help us leave. And it helps. That helps because he starts to hear a violin play. And he follows the noise and he sees his 12-year-old self playing the violin. And he tells Boyd, like, I didn't want to see this. And Boyd's like, what's going on? And he's like, that was the day my grandma died. She asked me to play the violin for her, and I played all day. And I knew that at some point she just wasn't in the room anymore. But I couldn't look at her. I just kept playing because I knew the moment I stopped, she was really gone. So I just kept playing and playing and playing. And Jade starts to like cry a little bit, and then he like yells into the universe again, and he's like, this is not what I wanted to remember. I wanted to remember why we're stuck here and how to get home. And Boyd tries to calm him down, and Jade just keeps telling him, like, I just want to go back. And then he turns around and he sees baby Jade there. And then when he looks back at Boyd, he sees the man with the railroad spike through his eyeball and the skull filled with blood. And we get a lot of like spinning and Jade switching between like the three people, like Boyd, the guy, and baby Jade. And during this, the guy tells him, with the railroad spike, just tells him, on Cooey. And baby Jade starts playing the violin. And Boyd's like, what's going on? And he tells Boyd about the guy with the railroad spike and him saying on Cooey. And Boyd's like, well, doesn't that mean remember? So, like, maybe you should drink the stuff. Maybe you should drink that blood in the skull.
Chug it, chug it.
Right? And he's like, it's not real. And, you know, it's just maybe just do it. And he looks at the skull. He turns back around and looks at into the skull, and he's like, looks real enough. Boyd's like, you know, well, maybe he's trying to tell you this is how to get the answers. Now, at this point, baby Jade is telling him, like, don't drink it. And Boyd's like, drink it. It's not real. And so Jade's like, fuck it. And he grabs the skull and he starts drinking that blood. And then when he gets done, he looks in the bottom and there's a bunch of little spiders in it. And he turns
Yummy.
around and he vomits. And the guy is gone at this point, but baby Jade is there. And in French, he says shit. And Jade looks at him and he's like, why shit? And you're not the one who had to drink it. And at this point, we commented when we were watching that it would be pretty trippy to see somebody all of a sudden start talking in French when they're like super high. Like, what's going on? But the baby Jade tells him, like, I told you not to. You don't get to pick and choose your memories. Now you're going to see things that you don't want to see. So it's like, okay. But this is kind of what Jade had to do. Like, this was the right choice. You know, maybe not for his sanity, but for his answers.
Well, and just because it's like a bad memory that might hurt you doesn't mean it's not going to be helpful. Granted, this is all a trip, so who knows what's real or not. Maybe he just drank poison. Maybe he drank nothing. Obviously he drank nothing. It's not real, but you never know in Demon Land.
It's true. That's true. Like, you can't trust any of the stuff. But back at Colony House, Fatima is working on her golem and Kenny comes in. He apologizes for not listening to her earlier. You know, instead of, you know, reacting, he should have listened, but he got scared. But he should have backed her. And she thanks him, and then he's still kind of milling around, and she's like, something else? And he asks her about her connection to Smiley and, like, what it feels like. She says it's terrifying. Every night she goes to the window and looks outside and knows that one of these nights she's going to see him standing there staring back at her. Probably saying, hi, Mom. But, because that seems like a Smiley thing to do. I'm fully waiting for it. I'm going to crash out a little bit with Fatima crashing out, but
I'm going to, like, scream and point and lose my mind, but not going to crash out. It'll be funny.
It will be funny. It will be funny. She'll crash out.
Yeah, she will crash out.
But Kenny tells her, like, if she needs anything to just ask, and she thanks him. So we're back to her finishing that golem. Um, Now I will say Corvée said that I do not know the story of Adam and Eve very well. Um, but there's a lot of allusions to Ellis and Fatima being that. And
Really?
Corvée said that she made a comment about that could the golem be considered Fatima's second son because of the whole Adam and Eve symbology, and she clearly favors the second one over the first. So
Mhm.
I'm like, I got to deep dive more into that before I can really speak on it, but it is a thought. And
Yeah.
she deep dives into all the stuff. But um again, it's nice that everybody is on board and like together and kumbayaing, but I'm still pretty nervous about that golem in the house.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
don't, I don't think that's gonna lead to good stuff, but we'll see. We'll see.
I
But
feel like all of my concerns are more just like, that's a heavy thing on the second floor that's gonna break through. Like,
the
structurally, I don't
water.
know the house can handle it. The water, like, those are my main concerns.
Also, how is her big ass blob golem thing gonna like come to
Get through
life
the
and
door?
maneuver? Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
it
telling you,
was
those are my concerns. Like, obviously, they're the ones of like, what if it's evil? I kind of just don't think it's going to be. We've had so much negativity in the show. Let's have one thing be positive, please.
true. True. So on Kenny's way out, he runs into Henry with a big old bottle of booze. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I keep a little stash here from the bar, to help take the edge off." And he offers some to Kenny, and Kenny's like, "No, I'm good." And now remember, Henry is still reeling from learning that the man in yellow ate his wife, right? He's
And
not
learning in the
in a good
most
way.
awful way of just seeing a picture drawn of it first.
Yeah, that was so rough. That's rough. Um, yeah, poor Henry, poor Victor, poor everybody. Uh, Back at the clinic, Christy comes out because Marielle is taking a while, and she finds her like having a breakdown. And she's like, "What's wrong?" And Marielle's like, "I'm fine. I just needed a minute." And she's like, "Here's the splint," and goes to walk away. And Christy's like trying to get her to talk, but she doesn't want to. She's like, "I'm fine. I'm fine. No, don't do this. I'm fine." So another couple people fighting. Um, which I mean, I don't know. That's such a tough one. Like, it's one of those. I get where Christy's coming from because she wants to help her fiance, but I also get Marielle being like, "I don't know how to talk about this. I'm not in the
Right.
place to talk about this. I don't know how to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this." So
Yeah.
back at the settlement, they're now putting stones into the dolls to push them back into the lake, which I'm like, I don't know that weird dolls like floating at the edge of the lake it really does the same thing as dolls trapped in the center of the lake, but sure. Um and Ethan and Tabitha walk up with more stones, and Ethan asks like, "Do you really think there's something bad in the water?" And Donna looks out there and she's like, "I don't want to find out."
Yeah. We don't need to mm, make that
No,
discovery. No.
no. There's been enough stuff that we haven't even covered yet. We don't need more. Like, let's not try to test it if we can. And but while they're putting these rocks in the bodies, Tabitha has kind of a flashback, and she sees the dolls, but these ones are much smaller. And Donna notices, and she asks Tabitha to go help her with something to get them both away from the group. And Donna tells her like, "I saw the look on your face. What's going on?" And Tabitha says, "There's something about these dolls. I don't know what it is, but it's familiar. Like I think I've seen them before, but like that's all I remember." And Ellis lets them know like we're done stuffing the bodies and we're ready to throw them back in. So they move them to the water, and Ellis gets like a big stick to like push them because they're still floating, and he's like pushing them down in the water, and he's like fully out, like almost to his ass in the water. Absolutely not.
Well, and like even with him pushing them with sticks, they're not they're not going down.
No.
Like, I don't think they put enough rocks in there because why are these things still floating?
Yeah, it was a choice, man. It was not. He was like they did start to like submerge a little bit when he was like, but it was they were still fully floating.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
weird. All around
No.
weird.
So I mean, I get the thought process, and I don't know what I would do in that situation. I would definitely put the dolls back in the water too. Just if anything, like maybe the water stops the dolls because I'm still sus of the dolls because they're creepy.
Right, yeah.
And then like I don't want them. I didn't like put them back where they belong. But also just shoving them at the edge of the lake is not where they belonged. Do we have a boat
You
anywhere?
know,
Like
it just, like, occurred to me that where they belonged was where they were all along. No one should have
mhm.
touched them. And the
Yeah.
guy who was, like, in Donna's face, like, "You might run Colony House, but you don't tell us what you," is the one who pulled them up in the first place. Like,
Yes, he
he is
is.
the reason these dolls are, like, in their business now. Like, I think
Yeah.
we should put him on trial and sentence him.
That was well. He gets what's coming to him. Uh,
I mean, yeah, he gets got, but I'm just saying if he didn't, I would be pissed at
oh,
him.
absolutely. Yeah, he was real bitchy. But also, like the second these red shirts actually have lines, you're like, "Ah, you're fucked.
Right.
You're fucked." Well,
Yeah.
and even he made the comment about being a red shirt, which I loved. I was like,
Yeah.
"Thank you, show, for acknowledging that
You know
they're
what?
red shirts."
They have been listening to the podcast and stole that from us.
Yes. They've been one of the 14 people listening to this podcast. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what I would do with those dolls, but I don't think what they did because you still got the rope and everything that they're on. Like you could have wrapped them back up in that and like put them down, like trap these fuckers a little bit. I mean, I get where they were thinking with scarecrows, but I'm also like these dolls are suspicious. They're creepy.
They were very creepy looking. I don't think
Ugh.
I would have guessed what they were,
No,
but also I wouldn't have thought Scarecrow with them either. So,
no, me neither. So out in the forest, we're still following baby Jade, and he disappears. And Jade turns around to talk to Boyd, and Boyd is gone. And Jade starts yelling like for him, and Boyd all of a sudden is there, and Jade looks at him and tells he's like, "Don't do that! Don't fucking leave me like that!" And Boyd's like, "I didn't. I've been here with you the whole time."
and it's funny because we were like, "Wow, what a bad trip sitter, just abandoning him." He's like,
Right?
"I've fucking been here the whole time."
It's like,
Like,
oh
oh,
yeah, unreliable high narrator that is
right. It's
Jade
like
at the
maybe we
moment. You're
shouldn't.
right.
We don't need to be trusting Jade right now. That's my bad.
Yeah, I know. I still think Boyd was a bad trip sitter, but it was not as bad as Jade's perspective of him was.
I don't know. By the end of this episode, I don't know that he was a bad trip sitter.
True, true. In this moment, I thought he was a bad trip sitter.
Again, trusting a bad narrator.
It's true.
You fell into it twice, Inception like.
Yeah. But Boyd asked Jade, he's like, "Are you good, or should we like stop and like we can go if it's too much?" But
You
at this
can't
point,
just stop a trip though. Like,
no.
it's not like you can just like vomit the mushrooms and be like, "Oh, okay, I'm sober now."
Yeah, it's not like Christy has a magic vial of you're not high anymore. Like, no. Um, but Jade hears the violin playing in the distance again, and he follows it. And they end up outside of Colony House. And Baby Jade is playing the violin, but then he stops, but we still hear the violin music. And they look over at the porch and they see um some men that we know quite well playing the violin. So it is all the people from it's Jade's visiony people, right? It's Christopher, it's the guy with the nail through his eyeball, it's the Confederate soldier that stabbed Jade, and it is the guy that got crushed by a rock who scared the shit out of Jade on his first day. Now he's not playing the violin, but the violin's sitting on the rock next to him. He's
And
like,
he's
I'm a
like also
little.
like glaring the whole time.
Yeah, he was not happy. Well, he's also the weird thing that screamed at Jade on his first day.
Yeah.
uh, but Baby Jade tells him, like, I warned you, the answers you saw come wrapped in painful truth. So Jade is getting some answers, maybe. But back inside Colony House, Henry has drank. He drank a lot of that bottle of booze, and like this was a big old bottle of booze, and it's like almost gone.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And he's like sitting at the kitchen table, just looking at that picture that Victor gave him of the man in yellow and his wife. And Victor comes in and he tries to take that picture away from him. And he's like, I don't think you should look at that anymore. And Henry's like, no, no. And then he grabs like the picture, but he also grabs Victor's arm and he says, like, what do you do for fun here? There's so much time sitting around worrying if you're going to survive the night. You can't forget to live, son. And he gets up and he almost falls over. And but he does the whole like, I'm okay, I'm okay. And Victor grabs the picture and follows him because Henry is on a mission to go find fun.
I have to say, like, we've seen a lot of drunk people in this show and other shows, and like very like outwardly destructive, like either starting fights, like yelling at people, just like breaking shit, stuff like that. I think Henry's is like a very, very different type of drunk. Like he's very upset, clearly, but
Yes,
he's not like making it anybody else's problem in that way. Like I feel like it's a positive kind of version of drunk. Like clearly he's hurting, he's upset, he's
yeah,
grieving, but he is just like, let's have fun. Like the world is burning. There's not really anything we can do about it. And I think people are more just like worried that he's going to get hurt
yeah,
or like feeling guilty because obviously Victor is blaming himself for having shown him the picture and told him about the mother, even though like that's not really his fault. Granted, again, the way he did it, not great, but I don't know. I felt like it was kind of nice seeing Henry break down a little bit.
yeah. No, I agree. I agree, and I think that this was a fully like, yeah. He didn't want to. Like, I think part of this was like he's upset about his wife, but he also is still concerned for his son,
Yeah,
and like wants. I think this brought some realism to him, even though as his wife died. I think he's finally catching a glimpse of the horrors of this place,
yeah,
and his reaction is to drink, which is absolutely fair. But then like in that, his next thing was like, what do you do for fun? Like, I want you to have fun. I want you to live. You've got to live because we all might die, right? So I
yeah.
need you to like live a bit and embrace some fun. And at this, Henry goes out and he's asking somebody, we're like, do you guys have any cards around here? And they're like, maybe in the kitchen. And like somebody's knitting something. He's like, that's so cool. What are you making? Like, it's so good for you. He is a really good drunk,
Have a hobby at the end of the world.
right? And he sees the piano and he goes over and he starts like playing it. He's, oh, does this work? And Victor's like, maybe you should go lay down. And Henry's like, no, 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 I don't want to lay down. And he starts playing and singing, leaving on a jet plane.
It's a
And
really good version of it
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Very raw.
Oh, it was so good. I love Henry. Even
I
in
do
his
too.
darkest moments, I love Henry.
Well, and like you said, even in his darkest moments, like I was worried that we would see a dark side of Henry because we haven't seen that of like maybe he'll yell at Victor and be like I not meaning it, but accidentally telling him it was his fault or something like that. Just like
He he does a little bit, but not really, but you can tell that Victor feels like he's getting that.
yeah, but he also says, "I know it's not your fault. Like you didn't do."
Yeah.
Like he clarifies that. He's like, "I know it's not
Yeah,
you."
as soon as he sees Victor with that reaction, he clarifies and he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, nope, nope, I'm fucking up."
Like I was expecting it to be like you did like or like you didn't save them or something.
Yeah. But I think Henry is so realized that Victor was a child at the time. And
Oh
realistically,
yeah.
I think a part of Henry still sees Victor as that child.
I think everybody does.
Yeah. But a lot of some people start gathering around and you can tell Victor's pretty upset by everything that's going on because like you said, he blames himself for his dad being in this state. And, Victor tells him to stop. And Henry's like, you remember when we used to play? We'd sit at the piano and I'd give you a key and that was your note. And you were so little. And your mom, she had such a beautiful voice. Do you remember? We'd sit there and we'd talk about how we'd go around the world someday and see all the beautiful things. And at this point, Kenny has also like joined the crowd that's standing around. And Henry goes back to playing. He's like, we'd see all the beautiful things and we'd be leaving on a jet plane. It was like, oh. And he starts breaking down a little bit though. Like his voice, you can hear like it cracking.
Yeah.
And it's rough. And at this point Kenny comes up and he tries to, tell Henry like maybe you should go. And at this point, see, and that's the thing is you can tell the difference that he treated Victor versus the different like how he treated Kenny. Because like Kenny kind of grabs him like his arm or like touches his arm and Victor's like, "No, who the fuck are you to tell me? Like, do you know what he did? What he did to my wife?" And at that point is when Henry turns around and he sees that Victor is very upset and he apologizes to him and he's like, "You didn't do this, and I'm sorry." And but at this point he's also very frustrated and he does end up hitting the piano, like the chair at the piano.
Yeah.
And Kenny grabs him and Henry just, says, "You don't know what he did." And he looks over at Victor and he says, "Show him the picture of what he did." Because I think that, like, some people, if you were listening to this argument from the outside, you're thinking, well, what did Victor do? And it's like, no, no, no. Show him the picture of what, he did. Like, so I think that helped clear it up a bit. And this is a rough moment. Like, I don't know that this is bad dad moment, but this is rough. Because he's just yelling at him, like, show him what he did, and then he crumbles to the ground.
I would not call that a bad dad moment at all.
No, I think it's a very human moment.
Yeah.
Back at the settlement, Tabitha is looking at one of those effigies, and she's really trying to remember at this point, right? Like, I think she's looking at stuff and hoping it triggers her. And Donna's over making a fire outside of the cabins, and Ethan comes up, and he's like, "What's the fire for?" And Donna's like, "Wait a minute, you tell me you didn't bring the marshmallows?" I love Donna. She's so good with the kids. And at this point, Ethan asks his favorite question: "Are we gonna be okay?" And Donna's like, "Of course we are. That is not the right answer. You can't promise people stuff."
Well, it's like going to your grandma for something after your parents have told you, like, no or conditionally yes, and grandma's just like, yeah, of course, you can have whatever you want. Everything's
Right.
great. Yeah. Donna's not going to tell him anything's bad.
Well, and then like his next line is like, dagger. He goes, "Good, because I don't want Julie to be alone." And Donna tells, yeah. And Donna says, "I'll tell you what, first thing in the morning, we're going to grab our packs and get the heck out of here, okay? Go on and get in the cabin." And Ethan tells her, "I like it when you're here. It's not as scary when you're around." And at this point, I'm like, Donna's going to die.
I the same thing, like, shit. No.
Ethan, don't you curse our Donna like that.
How dare you?
Yeah. No. God, Donna can't die. That would be awful. Which is why it's probably going to happen. Back at the clinic, Sophia is down getting something out of one of the cabinets, and she hears Randall and Julie arguing, and Randall tells her, like, this isn't working, and this isn't about me and the bookmarks, this is about you and being scared of the ruins. You're a fucking coward, Randall. And he tells her, you're a stubborn little child who doesn't know what the fuck's in front of her face. This place is fucking with you. It's fucking with your head because it knows how much you miss your dad. I've watched you have 2 seizures in 2 days. You're literally frying your own brain. So tell me, like, which is more likely, that you're traveling through chapters in a story, or that one of these days you're going to have a seizure that doesn't stop? And Julie tells him, like, I don't care. That's the risk I'm willing to take. Randall lets her know that she's a moron. And if her dad was here right now, he'd be fucking stunned at how goddamn stupid you are. You're only angry because you know that I'm right. And Sophia's like creeping outside the door with like a little smirk on her face because she's happy because the place is tearing itself apart, and that's her favorite part.
She didn't even need to be here for this, to be honest. Like, to
Yeah.
set this off, they were started down this road a while ago.
Oh, absolutely. So she heads back upstairs though, and she hears Christy and Marielle arguing. And Marielle storms off and runs into Sophia, who grabs her arm. So Sophia does some shit to her because right after she lets go, Marielle gets pulled to the wall with the chains on her arms and the screaming. And she starts screaming, and Christy comes out here and sees this, and she looks crazed. I mean, I would be freaked the fuck out if I was both Christy and Marielle at this point.
Yeah.
But Christy goes up to her and like touches her arm and like tries to bring it down, and I think this kind of breaks her out of it, but she's still very, very messed up. And Marielle starts sobbing. As you would, that's awful. I don't think that this has happened. Like, what has happened to her in the ambulance and what has happened to her now, I don't think it has been this much that's
No.
been happening to her.
I wonder if Sophia has anything to do with this
Right?
increase in bullshit.
It's all the praying. She's
Oh God, it's all the praying.
It's
Why?
not,
Why
she's
would
not
she
like
say that?
no, she's not like sitting there praying and shit. She's like sitting there like cursing people.
Oh God, I thought you were just making a joke about
No.
it. Yeah, probably though. That is definitely what she's doing.
I mean, that is a good way to like.
Yeah, because no one's gonna want to interrupt her praying. Like,
Right. She's getting like the deets on everything that's happening when she like can't see it, and then she's also like, ooh, I'm making plans. I'm gonna curse this person. Oh, Marielle, I'm gonna curse you, and I'm gonna make you people fight. Yeah.
it sounds like they just need some asshole who doesn't like. Some atheist asshole is just gonna be like, stop praying every time she starts.
Right.
Just be like,
Like it's too
stop
much.
it.
It's too much prayer. No, but I do think that there might be something to that where, that kind of the way she acts is off-putting to people, and she understands that, and I think that that's part of her shtick.
Yeah.
But back with Jade, the men are on the porch, and they've all stopped playing the song, which I think that this is the song that Jade played, that he remembered and played, and that brought some of the memories back. I believe it's the same song that they were playing. And he asks baby Jade, like, why are we here? And, like, why were they playing that song? And baby Jade tells him, you know why. And Jade says, like, he looks at them, and he's, like, looking through each one. He's like, they're all me. These were the lives that I lived here. And baby Jade tells him, like, some of them and many more. Look at them closely. What do you see? So Jade goes to look at them. And, like, we were all, like, staring at them, too. Like, what's up with these guys? What's up with these guys? But Jade is faster than us.
Yeah, we all thought it was like, oh, something's wrong with their eye or something.
Yeah. And he's none of them were ripped apart. They weren't killed by the monsters in the woods. These men were murdered. And he asks baby Jade, like, by who? And baby Jade tells him, you know who. And then in French says, minnows in a shark's net. Which I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. But maybe it's like a saying or something. I don't know.
I don't know. All I thought was sharks and minnows at that point, and I was like, like sheep, or like the wolf in the sheep's den, something like that. That's all I
Oh,
could think
yeah.
of.
Okay. No, that's fair. I wonder if it is like a French saying or something too.
Probably.
I might need to look into that one. But it strikes this strikes Jade, like where he realizes something and he says they were murdered by the people in town. And baby Jade tells him like it's always the same. Once they learn the truth about who they are, or sorry, once they learn the truth about who you are, which is really an interesting way to put it, um, that it was you that the children were calling for. First they blame you, then they hate you, and eventually they kill you. And he's like, "What about Tabitha?" And baby Jade's like, it says, "For Tabitha, it's worse." Which we know the monsters will kill that soul because Smiley
Mhm.
killed Miranda. So this is interesting. Um, Jade asks him like, if I die every time, what are you saying? That there's no way home? Like, how does this help? How do I stop this from happening this time? And baby Jade doesn't answer him, but he goes to the door of the colony house. Now, at this point we go back into the colony house and Kenny and Victor have taken Henry up to their room and they get him and his drunken self down on the bed. And Kenny asks Victor, he's like, "What was Henry talking about?" And Victor hands him the drawing and then tells him in the most monotone fucking voice, "The man in the yellow suit ate my mother. I never should have told him." I was like, dude, oh, Victor, see, baby boy Victor, you're so fucked up. You are so fucked up, and I'm so sorry for that.
He is so fucked up, and I'm like, it's the delivery. I think that's what needs some work, buddy. Like, I think you could have told him, but not just by handing him a picture of it and going, "Yeah, he ate her. I found him eating her."
Yeah, yeah, that's rough. Ugh. But back inside, but in a different part of Colony House, Baby Jade has led Jade and Boyd down to the basement where there's like a bunch of storage stuff. This is also the basement where Julie and Elgin found that camera that ended up being an evil thing. Um but Boyd stops and he's like, "What were you talking about people murdering you?" Um and at this point, but Jade's not really answering him, and he sees baby Jade again. He's like, "We got to go over here." And we get to this wall that is like stacked with stuff. And baby Jade tells him in French, "You have to clear the way to see the path." So Jade just starts pulling down the clutter, and he and Boyd see a door behind it. So that's scary to be in Colony House. Um,
Right? I was like, no one noticed this door? Like, someone put all this stuff up. Someone had to know this door was here.
yeah, yeah. Oof. But also, you got to think about it. There have been a lot of people here before the current people here, so are they really going to dig through a pile of stuff? Also, what are you doing with your day, though? I would be.
But also, like, maybe this is too skeptical of me, but like, if they didn't have the talismans, no one was like living in these houses.
Yeah.
So who put the stuff in front of the door? Like,
Well, they
I
were living in them during the day.
I guess, but I'm just thinking like how long ago would it have been that that stuff was placed there?
Yeah, that's true.
Because I
Yeah,
feel
you
like it
would
would have
think.
been Donna like taking over, like deciding, okay, we're gonna actually turn this into a place to live in.
Right. Right. You would think that Boyd would have known if there was or Donna would have known if there was a random ass creepy door with a murder hallway attached
Right.
in the basement of Colony House.
Yeah.
But back to the clinic. Christy, Marielle, and Sophia are kind of like sitting on couches in the couch area, and Sophia brings Marielle some water, and she sits down, and Christy asks Marielle like, "Can you tell us what happened in the ambulance?" I thought it was so weird that Sophia was there with them. Why was Sophia there? It's so fucking weird.
Yeah, it's a
But
very intense conversation for some random girl you just met to be involved in.
yeah, yeah, she was not needed. Um, But Marielle tells them the radio came on and I heard them screaming. And Chrissy's like, Who's them? And Marielle says, everyone. Every single person who ever died here. You know, that's that's what it was like when we were down in the chambers. All I could hear, all I could feel was the suffering of every single person who has ever died here. I kept telling myself it wasn't real, that it couldn't be. But then the radio came on. It was like all that pain and horror just shot through me again. And at this point, Sophia goes, "You're a prophet."
Bitch.
I know. You're Marielle in this moment where you're like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And but she continues and she says, "Maybe God has chosen you to hear their suffering."
Maybe I chose you to punch in the face.
Right? Marielle's like, I can't do this," and gets up. And Chrissy's like, "Hey, I've seen this happen before. This place can get into people's heads." Which, fuck you, Christy. This is not that.
It's
Um,
but also, like, they keep saying that, "This is different. This is different."
yeah,
Every time it's different.
that's true. Yeah, because that's Marielle's next words. "This is different."
It's
Eh,
always different. At this point, I'm like, "I don't think any of these things are different. I think you're all getting fucked with."
oh yeah, yeah. No, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's what happened to Marielle. I think though, I think it's very belittling to be like, yeah, this happens to a lot of people. Where
Oh,
like
yeah.
Marielle's really suffering and like dealing with some fucked up shit, and to be like, yeah, that happens.
Yeah,
So what?
like, wouldn't wanna be minimizing it either, but also just, like, hearing the whole "this is different" thing every time, I'm
Yeah,
like, "Oh, dear God, everyone's special, I get it."
we need a "this is different" count. Like,
Yeah.
do they say "this is different" in every episode of season 4?
Yeah, I think they
uh,
do.
I think they do. But she does say there's something old here, something ancient, and it feeds off our suffering, and it doesn't stop. Even after we die, we're still trapped here, and we never get to leave. And then she walks off, which I think that's right. I do agree with her. There is
Yeah.
probably something ancient and evil as fuck here.
Yes.
Back at the settlement, they are in the cabin because it's nighttime, and the only one who's sleeping is Ethan. And Ellis makes a comment that sometimes he forgets that Ethan's a kid because he seems so grown up. And Tabitha's like, yeah, he's always been like that. Jim used to call him the little professor, so curious and full of questions. And then bitchy ass male red shirt says, well, maybe he can figure out what's in the lake. And Donna's like, stop it. Like, don't you fuck with the kid. Um, and she tells everybody, like, try to get some sleep. And Lady Red Shirt's like, you're joking, right? And Donna says, like, look, all we have to do is hold on until morning, and then we can get the hell out of here and back to the nightmare we understand. We have a long walk in the morning, and like she's about to say something else, but she gets cut off by this weird ass like sound. And it, I don't know, it's like it's not singing, but it's like weird sing humming. I don't know how to describe this noise that's happening, but it was creepy. It was not okay. We were all,
No.
I think you said, are there sirens here now? What the fuck's happening?
Yeah, cause it was just, like, weird, like, almost luring music, and I was like, "Ain't no way there's mermaids in this lake."
We don't
Yeah,
need
like,
that.
no, we don't need that,
We we got
please.
we got ghosts, we got zombies. We do not need sirens and weird ass murder mermaids. Uh, we don't need what we got next either, but still.
No.
Uh, and everybody is freaked the fuck out. And at this point, this triggers something for Tabitha, and she remembers something. And she's like, I know that sound. And at this point, Ethan wakes up to hear the explanation as well. And because she like shuffles and he's like laying on her arm and stuff. So he's awake too, and everybody's listening to her talk. And she says the dolls were smaller, but they were mine. And I was playing with them, but there was a man who was angry and he took the dolls from me. And he said that they were giving him nightmares, so he threw them in the lake. But one day the man died and his nightmares came out of the lake. And she's like telling Donna, we gotta go. And Donna's like, we can't. And Tabitha's like, no, you don't understand. We're not safe here. But Alice is like, oh, we have the talisman on the door. And she's like, the talisman is not going to protect us from them. Not from this. And the red shirts are just like, how do you know any of that? Like, what do you mean? What's going on? And at this point, the fucking wall bursts down. And one of those goddamn dolls is there. I did not expect the Kool-Aid Man entrance from the fucking creepy doll.
The Kool-Aid Man?
It was wild. That was the moment I was like, the fuck is going on here? Oh, but everybody but male red shirt takes off running. And the doll gets that man, and like you can then we get a shot of the doll whose like mouth is like ripped open and has like sharp teeth and shit. And Ellis tries to come back in and save the guy, but the doll like shoves him off. And at this point, the doll like grabs the dude's lower jaw and rips it off, and then he like reaches inside of his mouth and then like into his body, and it's really gross. I didn't like that.
I would be very concerned if you did like that.
And at this point, Donna, Ellis, Tabitha, and Ethan are hiding by the side of a building, and they're like, "Where's the female red shirt?" And Ellis runs back out, but she's like hiding over in some bushes, and one of the dolls comes up behind her. And at this point, we're back with Tabitha and them, and she sees the effigies, and a memory strikes her again. But the other doll is dragging the female red shirt over to that fire that Donna was making and shoves her face into it.
Oh.
And Ellis runs up, and he's gonna save somebody, and he smacks that doll with a big ass stick. And like a full fucking branch. And then he grabs the red shirt and he pulls her away. And the doll like falls into the fire a little bit, and her arms get caught on fire during this.
Yep.
And they manage, that slows her down a bit.
But like she also doesn't seem concerned. She just kind of looks at her arms and is just like, I guess I'm on fire now.
Yeah, well, new weapon unlocked, fire. It was so like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
Anybody want a hug?
Right? And Donna and Tabitha and Ethan are hiding still, and Donna is like looking at them and not looking behind her, and she says like, we have to run no matter what happens. We have to keep. And at that moment, a doll is behind her, and it grabs her, and they start freaking out, and it throws her down and starts choking the shit out of her. I'm glad it didn't go for like the jaw rip move right away, because that would have been bad.
Yeah.
Only male red shirt got that one.
Yeah. We didn't need to see that more than once.
No. And we needed some time for Tabitha to grab that effigy and stab the doll with it. This was very like voodoo doll getting stabbed with a needle-esque stuff for me. But this stops the doll. The doll stops moving. It drops to the ground. And Ellis and the female red shirt come running up. And Donna like looks at Tabitha and she's like, what just happened? And Tabitha says, I remember how to hurt them. And the other doll with like the burning arms comes walking up, and like she stops a ways back, and her arms are just still on fire. And then like I think she sees the other doll on the ground, and then she just stops and turns back around.
Yeah, she's like, this is not worth it. I'm gonna go home.
She's like, I don't want to get stabbed. That seems awful. So now we have, like I said, we've got ghosts that we haven't talked about. We got fucking zombies that we haven't talked about. We got fucking dolls coming to life. What in the 80s horror movie is fucking happening around here? No thank you. If this is what Demon Land gets to, I'm taking your way out. I don't want this.
I mean, it's a good plan. I don't know why everyone has been so against it.
Or I'm gonna get high like Jade is. Back at Colony
also
House.
A good option.
Yeah, it's because you didn't care then. Back at Colony House with Jade, they have cleared like the stuff in front of that door, and they've opened it, and now we have a weird murder hallway. And they start walking down it, and Jade sees a big fucking spider, and Boyd is gone again. Worst trip sitter ever. But Jade keeps walking down the path, and it turns into, like, it's very much the tunnels, right, where the monsters take their naps. That's
Yeah.
where this murder hallway leads to. And at this point, Jade starts calling for Boyd, and all of a sudden Boyd grabs him, and he's like, "You got to be quiet, and we have to go. Like, we can't be down here." And Jade's like, "This isn't real. Like, this can't be real." And Boyd's like, "Capricorn, you asked me to be your anchor, so fucking listen to me." And Jade's like, "We were just at Colony House. The tunnels are not that close." But we know the tunnels are connected to the fucking root cellar that's close
Everywhere.
too. They're all under that place. They were underneath the damn house that fell on Tabitha. Of course they're that close. But Jade he does start to follow him. He does listen to Boyd. He starts to follow him, but they get to kind of a split in the path, and he sees baby Jade. So he, instead of following Boyd, he follows baby Jade. And this leads him to a big cavern in the tunnels. And he's like, "Oh, this is the stone slabs where this is where the kids were sacrificed." And he asks baby Jade, like, how will knowing this help us get home? Like, me and Tabitha already tried to save them. We've tried so many times. Is there something here? Something that we need? Like, it was, yeah. And he starts yelling at him too, like, how can we save them when when we've already failed? And at this point, baby Jade walks off, and here come some of the monsters, and they're like, "Hi, Jade," and they're like, "You should have listened to Boyd."
How
um,
you doing?
yeah, but you were never really the smart one, were you? Which is such a blow to Jade. Like, how
He
dare
is.
you? He's the smartest one in the room. Thank you very much, cocky ass monsters. And then at this point they surround him and they shove him into like an empty grave kind of thing, basically. And they move this big ass rock slab over the top of him. And he looks down at, cause like he's been looking up at them, but he looks down at like his feet and he sees one of the kids down there, and the kid says Ankui, and Jade screams.
It's basically just like the tone of the Onkui too is just like, well, you're fucked.
Yeah, like Ankui. Like, yeah, well, this is where we're at now.
This
You
is what
dumbass.
happens.
And at this point, we're back in the sheriff's station. And Boyd is there, and he's grabbing Jade and trying to get him to calm down. And he's like, "Are you okay?" And Jade asks him, like, what the fuck are we doing here? How did we get here?" And Boyd's like, "We never left." And Jade's like, "No, we were in the tunnels." And he's like, "No, you've been sitting here for hours. You were at the window, you sat down, that's it." And Jade's like, "No, there was a lot more. I know where they are. I know what we have to do to go home. I know how to save the children." And that's the end of the episode.
I thought this was a great episode.
It was amazing. Well, I don't like. I'm glad Jade knows. I don't fucking know what they need to do.
Right. Like I saw all of that, but like the only thing I can think of is like, okay, so they got to go see if that door actually exists in Colony House.
Yes, and they've
Patch up
got to.
that hole if they
Yeah, get a
and
talisman on the outside of it.
I'm curious as to if something is in the middle of that circle where the
Yeah.
sacrifices were done.
I think that there's something in that circle, probably under a stone slab where Jade was being buried. Like, I think that, I wonder if the skeletons of the children are down there and they have to do something with their bodies. Like, maybe, I don't know what, but like there's definitely something there. I
Yep.
also am very concerned about our our sweet Sir Jade, because I don't want him to get murdered.
Yeah, let's not do that.
There were plenty of people who would probably volunteer. He's kind of a dick. I don't need him to get murdered.
Yeah, no.
So, yeah, that's a very interesting though, that like, and we had already kind of guessed that the visions that he was seeing were his past lives, especially once we started seeing Christopher.
Yep. Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, this was happening, and how old, like the settlement, and then like Tabitha's memories and her dress and stuff like that, of like, okay, this has been going on a long time.
Yeah.
So it made sense that there would be a soldier, like a Confederate soldier, and like this and that, and like the old dude with the railroad spike. That those would all be Jade.
Mhm.
I don't know what happened to that poor guy who got fucked up by the rock, though. That's a real rough way to go.
Sucks for that guy.
Yeah, he's a witch. Um, but it's a big ass boulder for people to move and smush somebody with.
Yeah.
Um, but it was interesting. I'm glad that Jade has had these realizations now, and I'm interested to see how, like, what happens from there. I'm also glad that Kenny knows now about the man in yellow and, like, what Victor knew about him, or at least some of what Victor knew about him. Because I think it would be very difficult for Henry to relay that information to the group.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this was a hell of an episode. I loved it.
It was a great, phenomenal episode. I'm so glad that we got to see more of the trip.
Yeah.
I was not disappointed at all. Seeing the giant dolls really freaked me out. I don't wanna see a doll ever again in my life.
Oh my god. Can you imagine, like, those people who collect dolls?
Hell
I
no.
could never.
Hell no.
Creepy. Creepy as
Absolutely
hell.
not.
I I've probably told you this before, but when I was a child, and now again, this is because of 80s horror movies. When I was a child, like, my parents would be like, "You can bring one toy with you on our vacation, right, or our trip." And I always talked them into letting me take two. And that was because when, like, we left them in the hotel room or whatever, that they would have a friend. And that was because when they came to life, they would remember that I was nice to them.
This is like you talking to computers.
This is me being polite to the AI,
Oh
because when it
god.
takes over, it's gonna remember I was nice.
Oh my god. I mean,
No,
yeah.
fully, 100%. It's the same. It's, yeah, no, it is. You never know. You got That's why you got to be nice to me. But
Oof.
yes, no. Dolls are freaky as fuck, and I've been prepared my entire life for all dolls and stuffed animals to come to life and want to murder me.
I mean, you
So,
gotta prepare for something, I guess.
yeah. I love that I did that as like a child too. I was like,
Yeah.
as like a toddler. I'm like, yes, two toys. Need to
You
kill the
were
toys.
prepared. You knew something was gonna happen eventually.
Yes, I was very suspicious. Again, I probably saw like a clip of Child's Play and was like, not to me, that shit won't happen to me. Not knowing that it was a possessed serial killer in there. But still,
You know what?
I was prepared.
It might not always be a possessed serial killer.
Right, could be Puppet Master, whatever the other one that where it's too many dolls came to life. That was the thing. Um, but yeah, no. So those dolls, I can't with dolls. Dolls scare the shit out of me. Far too
Yeah, they're
creepy.
they're pretty fucked up.
And those dolls were the extra creepy kind. With the weirdly stitched mouths and the button
Yeah.
eyes and the no. I mean, but that's what dolls looked like back in the day. But still, absolutely not. No,
Yes, no.
I'd have put those fuckers back in the lake too, just to get to not have to look at them.
Yeah.
But we'd have tied them up with some rope and shit. Like, nah, that's the thing. Is like, y'all didn't do enough. Do you wonder? I wonder if they were actually walking about, but that rope. I don't know, where did the other end of that rope go? Like, they needed to investigate more. Like, what were they tied to, like, a certain range where they couldn't get to the cabins?
You know, I don't know, 'cause they did hear things walking around before, but they didn't, like, bust down the wall and kill anybody.
Yeah, they didn't Kool-Aid Man in. Yeah, because Kenny was telling Boyd, he's like, "There's something there. It's different." And
Yeah, maybe they did have a tether.
I also think that, like, I don't think the creatures come that far. Like, I think that they're free. Like, I don't think that they're fucking with the stuff out there either.
But also, they might just know that the people living there can't leave, so they're gonna come back eventually, so, like, why waste going after the 2 that have gone out to the settlement when you can
True.
just torment the 50 or 40 whatever that are still here?
But it seems like they stay mostly to like the road and the houses. Well, I mean, we have seen them out in the woods because that's when Boyd found like the talismans. Huh. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting. But yeah, you definitely can't stay the night out at the goddamn cabins anymore. No
I
time at
I
the summer
personally
house.
wouldn't.
That's where all their food is at the moment.
Yeah. They gotta learn to run faster so they can get out there, dig a little bit, get the hell out.
What we need is, okay, Tabitha, these effigies, we can stab these fuckers with these effigies. We can hurt them. Well, and also, like, when light comes, like, is that fucking doll still gonna be there, stabbed through the chest with the goddamn effigy? Like, also, like, why did the effigy work? Also, how do we make more effigies? Will this work on other monsters? Like, there are so many questions.
Yeah.
I'm less worried about Jade being cursed, though, because he did break that part off the effigy. And I was a little nervous about that. But
I forgot about that, to be honest.
I'm less worried about him because we were all like, no, don't take that. You're going to be cursed. Have you seen that thing? You don't want to fuck with that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I totally I totally forgot about that.
So,
But
no,
yeah.
this is a great episode. I'm very sad that we have to wait 2 weeks for
Yeah, that's
our
some
next
bullshit.
episode. I know. I know. It's I don't know, some shows do that like mid-season break or whatever, but
Or like it's a long holiday weekend, but also I want to use my holiday time to watch this show.
right? Yeah. We will we will survive. We will make it. We
Are you
we
sure?
we waited longer between the seasons. And
Yeah,
then
I'm
like
not
just
good at
for this
waiting.
this mentally prepares you for the break between season 4 and season
Oh,
5.
no, I don't need to prepare. Just like cold turkey me. Don't do this.
Yeah, we're going to have 5 more episodes and then you're in for the long wait.
Gross.
Sad long wait.
I don't do that kind of thing. At least we got other shows to watch
Yes.
and talk about.
There, luckily there are a plethora of weird shows out there for us. So we shall survive the break. But yeah, I agree with you. This was a wonderful episode. I've absolutely loved this entire season. Like
Yeah, it's been a good season.
yeah, there hasn't been a thing. I mean, look, I'm pissed about some things like that they never like why aren't they talking about stuff? But they
Yeah,
are
but they
talking
haven't
about
been
some
talking about
stuff.
shit anyway.
They did group together and start talking about the yellow suit and stuff, but like they ain't talking about them ghosts. Boyd ain't talking about no zombies. I guarantee that they will tell them about the dolls. There's no way they're keeping the fucking weird dolls from everybody.
Better
Well,
not.
from Boyd and Kenny, and Jade.
Yeah.
The select group of people who are allowed to be in the know.
Yeah.
Ugh. But that red shirt is not going to keep her mouth shut, so people will know.
No, and someone's gonna ask like, "Hey, what happened to the side of your face?"
Also, though, I don't remember who it was, but somebody was saying it would probably be better if the red shirts both died
Yeah.
because, which is so fucked. But because now they're gonna be like Tabitha's remembering weird shit and she knows things she shouldn't know, so like that's weird.
Yeah. No, I think it might have been me who said that.
Yeah,
But also multiple people might have said that because yeah, now you have people who don't have the full story who are just like going to see, okay, Tabby knows things she shouldn't. That's suspicious. Enemy number one. And it's too late to be like, oh no, there's a reason behind it. Because then it just looks like you're making up a story to save yourself.
yeah, yeah. Also, where's Clara Ben? I don't love that she's missing. I need
No
eyes
idea.
on her. It's
You need a
suspicious
Claire
now that
cam.
yeah, it's suspicious now that she's not around because there was a moment when Victor and Kenny were taking Henry upstairs and there was another red shirt lady who was like holding the door for them and stuff. And I would have expected that to be Clara. You know, like that would have made sense. Because she even asked like Victor, she's like, "Are you okay, Victor?" That seemed like such a Clara thing. But we
Yeah.
haven't seen. I don't think we've seen her since the first episode.
Maybe the showrunners are just like, you know what? These people keep thinking Claire is something more than she is. We got to stop using her for every scene. We got to calm down on Clara.
That could be it. Or they're getting too sus, we gotta pull Clara back.
Could be. You never know.
Because they're figuring it out. Because we're so smart. No, we're not. But still, I have lucked into some good guesses.
Yeah.
But yes, 2 weeks, and then we will get the next episode. And I'm hoping that it is just as good as the rest of the season has been. But thank you all for listening to I Found a Weird Show, and we cannot wait to continue the recap next time. Bye!
Bye.